In July 2024, the board picked a white man to replace me as CEO in a company that I had co-founded and run for 10 years. And I'm going to tell you why it matters that it was a white man that replaced me. Your first large institutional investor will set the tone for what type of investors you can subsequently attract into the company. When you accept a significant check from a tier 2 or tier 3 investor, it will be almost impossible to attract better investors into your cap table. So we did have a lot of problems attracting better investors after our Series A. One day, one of our investors casually asked me if the color of my skin or my gender was standing in the way of us raising more money. Let's put a pin on that. Eventually, when a couple of the board members decided that this guy would replace me as CEO, one of the things that he was most worried about was the optics of a white man replacing a brown woman as CEO. When they went around trying to convince the rest of the board members that this swap should happen, apparently one of the women board members that we had was very uncomfortable with the idea of a white man replacing a brown woman as a CEO. Then a bunch of things unfolded, and where we ended up was that this guy and I would run the company as co-CEOs. Not all board members were on board with this idea, and I got a call from one of the board members one day telling me that in this situation, he will not be comfortable approving equal pay for the two CEOs. Mind you, for 6 months leading up to that date, my co-founder and I had given up our salaries in order to extend the runway to the company. Now that they were bringing in a new CEO for a certain salary, he had the audacity in 2024 to call me up and tell me that as a brown woman, I couldn't draw the same salary as a white man, even though I had the same position. The chaos multiplied, the board could not reach a decision, so they went back to just having him as CEO. And this time, the woman on the board was asked to deliver this message to me. And how was that message delivered? That I was lucky enough that I still get to keep my position in the company and contribute to the company, and not many people would have that opportunity. So my inference of what really happened, they felt like these brown founders were able to build pretty good tech and pretty good products, which were both validated by external people that they respected and external companies that they valued a lot. So that couldn't be denied. However, these brown people are unable to attract new capital, and the solution is to put a white man in charge of that problem. And that's exactly how this becomes relevant.